All right. Hey, y'all. I'm Christopher Davis,
And I'm DJ Harding.
and welcome back to another episode of Generational Debates. I listen. There's issues uploading the pilot episode, so we go make sure it's up. But for this one, I decided let me bring my old roommate, my favorite debate partner, DJ Harding, host of the Harding Way. This man has covered the NFL draft, covered the Connecticut Sun rather,
And the Chicago Sky, so it
and
works.
the Chicago Sky. Yeah, he be in his bag, and listen, he is one of I call him a sports database man. Like his sports knowledge, his ball knowledge. This man is elite. So I definitely want to shout out and promote my guy. So yeah,
I appreciate it,
let's
man. I
do it.
appreciate it.
All right. So first, I want to talk about our view of the NFL landscape first and foremost,
Mm.
because this has been a crazy season. A lot of very bad teams, a lot of very good teams, a lot of teams in the middle. So, how do you feel about this season overall, and how you kind of viewed it?
I tell you this. Honestly, the NFC has been a little more wild than I thought it was going to be. The AFC has kind of been a little predictable. I mean, the four teams that are supposed to win their divisions are winning their divisions right now, in the sense. I mean, the Ravens, I forgive them the technicality because I'm assuming by the end they'll figure their mess out. But besides that, but Pittsburgh's always Pittsburgh anyway. So, like, those five teams, not too much of a shocker. I'm a Justin Fields believer. So the AFC's kind of been what I assumed it'd be, besides maybe the Broncos and Bo Nix. The NFC, though, I'll be honest. I did not see the Commanders acting like that at all. That I mean, I know they lost to Philly or whatever, but for a minute there, I was like, they were not supposed to be here. Dallas being as atrocious as they are, I also did not realize it was going to
Not at
happen.
all.
Goodness gracious, they are not them boys, pun intended, because that
Not at
was horrendous. I tell you that. I mean, yeah, honestly, the landscape has been a little wild. I think the biggest thing right now in the NFL landscape that I feel about is I understand that they had a rough game versus Pittsburgh, but kicking Lamar out the MVP conversation and like put Josh Allen first, I think it's a little crazy after one game. I
all.
understand he beat the Chiefs, but like I think it's a little. I'm like, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I think that this week especially was kind of like how a team won and how a certain team lost. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen Lamar that offense look as shaky as I did like this whole season as I did. But again, it's the Steelers. Like they always look a little shaky versus them. It's like they forget how to play football. So I guess my thing with like Josh Allen being in MVP talks now, it's kind of like okay, he beat the like undefeated team that everybody kind of was like touting as like they have devil magic on their side, so nobody's gonna beat him this year. And then he beat him, and he actually looked like Josh Allen like playing at peak of his powers. So I think that you know at this point with the Bills and Josh Allen, because I saw a tweet that kind of summarized this with the whole Lamar and Josh Allen thing, because you see like that Twitter beef all the time when you're on the internet. I think it's at this point we shouldn't care about an MVP or what or doing being all pro at this point, especially Lamar. Like even though
Yeah.
Josh doesn't have the accolades, I get it. Winning MVP would be great for Josh's case. However, we should be worrying about Super Bowl. Like
Yes.
is
I'll be honest. Let's be so real. If we're talking quarterbacks that need to win, those are like the top two, in my opinion, that need a Super Bowl the most.
yeah.
So, like for them, I feel like neither of them really care about MVP. I feel like Allen should more than Jackson just because he don't got one. But
Mm,
if not for nothing else, when you talk about the way they lost, the Ravens' one issue at all times has to literally be the way that they also will just stop abandoning what they do. I don't know how and why, but they are a run team, and at some of the
mm,
most crucial moments, will abandon the run, and I don't understand it.
mm.
Like we watched Gus Edwards behind that line get 14 touchdowns and look perfectly fine, and now you get, and you know what I'm gonna do here. You get the
Yep.
best running back in the NFL and give him 13 carries. You're asking to lose.
Yeah. And listen, let me tell y'all, this is the biggest Derrick Henry fan
Yeah, I'm
I've
realizing in that little scroll you should have put King
Yeah.
Henry's number one subject because that was my
Henry's number
nickname.
one.
When we
Yeah.
was back in the dorm, that was my nickname. King Henry's
Yeah.
number one
That,
subject.
yeah. Derrick Henry, listen, and again, we like called and I had this debate on like who's the real MVP of the Ravens. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, you're very competitive with the Derrick Henry cast because when they lock in and they're actually like, "Hey, we gonna feed this dude,"
They
they win
win.
the games.
They
When they
win.
don't, they lose the game. So it's just like, and that's the thing. Like, I
If
think the fumble made everybody like a little gunshot, but it's like it's still Derrick Henry, and it's a one score game. Like
once again,
even
if
like even when they went into like overtime with Cincinnati, they still gave the ball to Derrick Henry. Like
But
I
you know
don't
what's so crazy to me? And with that whole he fumbled, that was his first fumble in like 500 touches. First of all, that man is usually just calm, just I'm just here and throws people. That
yeah.
man hit the bench. I said, he's angry and you're not going to feed him the ball? But then it also it's that same thing when they lost to Cleveland, where I got the same irritation. He'll break off a 30-yard run or something, and then you turn around, and all of a sudden you're not giving him the ball the rest of the game. And I'm like, but why?
That's the thing. Like having Justice Hill, we've already talked about them not even using the zone read sparingly, which as a play call that just doesn't make sense at all. But then
Never.
also having Justice Hill, and I get it, great receiving back. He's gonna make some plays. And that ain't like having Derrick Henry back there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's a severe drop off in a third down back in that third down back versus having Derrick Henry
It's
back.
ridiculous.
On the 2 point conversion, you need to get 2 yards. Get all the big boys up front. Go with our formation and just give the ball to Derrick. Like it's
Once
just
again, at the end of
simple
the
math.
day, I put it like this: bare minimum most times, unless someone like forgets their assignment, he's getting at least 3 to 4 yards. Secretly, you could just give him the ball repeatedly, and you're gonna eventually get your first down. Because the only bad one he had was when someone decided not to block TJ Watt of all people, which I was just like, whose idea was that? That was ridiculous. And
I
he
don't know
blew him
if
up
they
the back.
missed the block or like they were just like,
I think it was a
it's
scheme thing
just
where they were like, let him run through and we'll run this way. And I was like, that's not the person you do that with, though.
I
I was
don't
like,
know. Like
it's TJ
he's
Watt.
the one guaranteed game record who's literally, quite literally, won them multiple games before. Like I don't.
No,
Yeah. So
literally.
so again, I think this game honestly was on the Ravens coaching staff, and yeah, they got a big one versus the Chargers. It's the Harbaugh brothers going against each other.
I
So
put it like this: they
they,
feed that man, they win, literally. Because like I'm like me and my dad, we have beef. We get beef with Harbaugh, and I'm like, secretly, I have beef with Todd Monken because he's the offensive coordinator. I had to look up this man's name. Like, who am I supposed to correctly yell at? Because this is getting ridiculous. Like I said, literally, if you look at it, in every game where he gets over 20 carries for the most part, they're winning games. And I'm like, I don't understand why you can look at that and be like, nah, we're not giving the ball. Like
yeah.
that makes no sense to me.
And I feel like for me, just watching how their offense, like sometimes they either like look really like, okay, we're actually gonna like feed Derek and we're gonna lock in, and the other half's like, you know what, Lamar's playing throwing the ball. Well, let's just. I'm like, look, Lamar is at his best when he is doing point guard stuff. When the throws are easy and it's simple, he's gonna have that occasional deep shot. But like, I also feel like this game he was gun shy to run, and I've never seen that of. Like, there was like 3 or 4 plays. I'm like, Lamar, please take off and get this first down. And it's just like,
You
no, I
know,
gotta make the throw. And I'm like, listen, honestly, you've said you're a man on the mission. So please, next game, do everything in your power to win. This is not about people calling you a running back anymore. We're far past that. You've won 2 MVPs, bro. Like
I
you're
genuinely think that narrative gets
yeah,
in his head sometimes,
yeah.
and they try to like counteract the narrative and start throwing the ball. And I'm just like, why are you trying to appease
Still,
them?
everybody says, and I personally believe he's the most dynamic person who's ever played the quarterback position. Like, like his appeal is the fact that he can run like a 4-2-4-3, and he can throw the ball deep. Like that's like
But
so
once
if you're
again,
feeling like yeah,
you should rock like Randall Cunningham, an occasional deep shot.
hmm just a
You
casual. We don't
you
gotta
don't
do
gotta
too
pull it out
much.
all the time. Once again,
But again, just lock in and run the ball when you need to. But anyway, I just think this week is a definitely big week for them because they're going up against the Chargers, Harbaugh versus Harbaugh. Who do you think is going to win the next game? This is probably going to be the only game we talk about because you're your resident here.
once again, I tell you this. I'm assuming the Ravens are going to figure out, oh, when we run the ball, we win and start feeding this man the ball. But I also realize a trend with them. When they get up early, they love to run the ball. Once they get behind, they full blown act like they have no clue what they're doing.
Mm.
So for that alone, I'm kind of like, I'm just gonna assume since the Chargers ain't they don't got no magical weapons and let's be honest, he's out there throwing to Quentin Johnson. Like, J.K. Dobbins
Hey,
pretty
Quentin
nice.
Johnson had a good year after all the trash everybody's talked about him.
Yes, he's definitely on a revenge tour, but like it's Quentin
His
Johnson.
mama
Like I'm not worried
his
about
mama
him.
still get to not have her job. His
Yep,
mom.
like good for Q. Yeah, I mean he's figured it out, but at the same time, I'm like, we ain't scared. I ain't scared of him. Like, so I'm assuming they'll get up or they'll be able to get up early and be comfortable and pretend they know how to remember they know how to do what they do. Because I'm just like, Because like Commanders, for example, or the Broncos, when they got up, they started feeding Derrick Henry the ball, kill clock, and now we're running all over them and we're killing everybody. But once they get a little bit down, now they're like, because with Cincinnati, they like Jamar Chase gets a 70-yard touchdown, and all of a sudden they're just like, oh no, we gotta throw the ball right back, and it's like, no, you don't. You don't have to.
I got you.
It's like, give me the Ravens.
Yeah. Well, I see you got the Celtics hat on, so we got to talk about your team.
Guilty
In
as
our
charged.
eternal rivalry. Honestly, it's not really a rivalry. They got Gener8ional before us, and I know most Lakers fans are gonna hate me for saying that, but yeah, man, y'all had a great win versus the Cavs on Tuesday, and again, like I said, I thought that Cavs stuff was really fake as hell. I did not believe in them,
You
and
know,
the Celtics proved that again, to much to my chagrin, that they look like the team to beat in the NBA. So, how do you feel about your Celtics this season? And you're so bald without Porzingis, but how y'all feeling, man?
I say this first, the Cleveland thing. Honestly, we literally did a video on the channel about this. Well, I called it Cleveland Cleveland because I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. I think losing to Boston does hurt their credibility, but they still had to win 15 in a row. So I don't want to call them fake just yet. Also, when you see how Philly and Milwaukee are playing right now, they're the biggest threat in the East besides the Knicks to the Celtics. At the same time, I'm loving the way the Celtics are playing. Granted, it scares me every once in a while because we play like Loyola Marymount. We're just shooting all these crazy threes. It's ridiculous, but we also are hitting them. So we're going to shoot and hit. I'm all for it. But there are some times where I'm like, I don't like this. I sometimes don't like this game plan because I'm like, if we start missing, it's going to get real ugly real fast.
Because I think with how I've just seen Missoula's offense, it's literally like so many of the players are like, okay, we're going to drive and kick, and we can just go 5 out because we have all of these guys who can hit threes. And it's like, I feel like y'all are so worried about your pendulum swing because when y'all are hot, again, it's like watching Golden State. It's just like they're not going to miss. They're going to go on a run and it's going to be crazy. But then it's also like you have JT and Jaylen Brown. Sometimes it's okay to go in the paint, dog. Like it's not like they aren't like huge guys who can, go get their buckets that way. So I get like why y'all play the way y'all do because again, y'all literally have like I think at least 7 or 8 guys that can stretch the floor. So it's like
I put it like this: pretty much everybody on that team has the ability to hit 2 threes by the end of the game, which is ridiculous. Like they got Al Horford out there just cashing. Like it's wild. Like he be hitting. Like I saw a thing the other day, and it was a couple weeks ago. So, but I remember it was like, only 5 players have hit 53 so far this season, and 3 of them were us. It was Derek White, Pritchard, and Tatum. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like we're low-key just heaving them. And Pritchard looking like 6th man of the year right now.
Yeah.
And I'll be very honest. I at one point was a Pritchard hater. I'm not gonna lie. I was not with him at first, but he has won me over. And I'm like, hey man, you gonna play and ball out. I ain't got nothing to say. I got no complaints because they've been on one. They've been on one.
Yeah. Gotcha. So honestly, I love what y'all doing. I think again, y'all are the team to beat. There's a couple of dogs in the West, and my team, we ain't doing too bad,
Yeah. I tell you, did not see that coming.
Solid. Shout out to my boy Dog Connect.
I did. Yo,
every broad team has a white boy who can shoot. Every single one. We go back to the Mike Miller days.
Yo, I was like Mike Miller. Who else we got?
That got to the
Kyle Korver was up there.
Yep. Yeah, I'm telling you, Kevin Love.
Love.
We just need as a broad fan, I'm a Lakers fan first. So we established that. I was saying that we might need to start the retirement tour because I didn't want us to be mid in the West. However, I like how this team's looked. Don't Connect is pushing for some serious minutes. Rui, I'm sorry. It's looking a little quiet for you, bro, because I'm not gonna lie. Everybody's like, but Rui can play defense. And I'm like, yeah, but I got a white boy who can shoot and hit 9 threes. I'm just saying.
I tell you this, he in that rookie of the year running for real. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because it is rare to watch a player get like good minutes as a rookie on like a competitive team. Like that's not normal. Like
yeah. But that's the thing. Like we've had a bunch of injuries, so we kind of have had to like put him more in the lineup. But I also feel like there's so many like relative unknowns that we have in our team because it's like we have Cam Reddish, but like at that specific position, because LeBron and AD are gonna be fine, and Austin Reeves is gonna ball out. It's the rest of everybody.
No, literally.
About because GLO might decide not to show up to the games. Gabe Vincent might decide, he should just stay on the bench because he's not going to do nothing. Then you got Vanderbilt. Anthony Edwards cooked him when Vanderbilt was like, "Hey, you've been hurt for 2 years. Where you at, bro?" So I'm like, "Hey, like." It's like we're a good collection of parts, and some players can really ball out. But I like what Dalton's showing. LeBron, again, ageless wonder. There's nothing else to be said. Like triple doubles at this point. He's
Ridiculous.
dropping 30. Like he's insane. Like
It's ridiculous.
I don't even gotta
You
go.
already
I'll
know how I
ask
feel.
you
So
that
at this
question
point, it's ridiculous.
later. But I do think that I like how competitive we are. I like how we're playing. Our defense definitely concerns me, so we gotta tighten that up. But I don't know. I really think though in the West we just need LeBron to turn the clock back, maybe one or two key series to get to the finals. That's literally our only way is LeBron like somebody like a bit of 2018 and AD keeps playing like how he's playing, and I think we could go to the finals. I don't think that's too crazy.
Nope.
And like Reeves and Connect contribute, and everybody hit their shots. But I think that that's the only conceivable way I have. So that's why I'm not saying finals yet. But I like how we've looked with JJ. And
Honestly,
yeah.
the call of finals in the West is always just a tricky thing because it is the Wild Wild West, like legit, like a Will Smith song. Wild Wild West out here. Cool Mo D, pick one. It's nuts out there, genuinely. Because at all times there's a whole bunch of teams that always got some sort of like, and it's the playoffs. Secretly, once you get in, a good little 16, 17 little game run where you play your greatest basketball and you find yourself in the conference finals, possibly the NBA finals, without an issue. Like if you really go on a run like that. Because injuries did play a little bit of part, but think about the Pacers last year.
Mm-hmm. So
all of a sudden they went on a little sneaky little run, and all of a sudden they found themselves in the conference finals. And it's like just like that.
Oh yeah, you got to push a Halliburton narrative, and that's why I was like, okay.
I had to. I'll be honest. Right this minute, my take is aging like milk. At this minute, I'm hoping Tyrese gets it together for me because he's making me look real bad ever since I made that statement.
Yeah, because he's better than John Morant was. I'm sorry, I've seen that dude lead his team to a 2 seed in the West and go to war with LeBron and the Warriors. Look, the best player on the floor.
I tell you this:
with Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis on the floor before.
I tell you this. Well, see, the thing, the jaw thing was less like he's not better, but more I was just saying in the vid I did, because that's what Chris referring to. I was just like, I can't just go give him a top 5 spot right back like you ain't been missing, basically.
That's understood.
At the same time, I was like,
but again, I'm like,
I was just like, well, we'll see. I tell you, that take age like milk. Ever since I said Tyrese top 5, every person I said he was better than has shown out way better than he has since that statement. Because we put all the people we put up there against him. I remember we put up Ja, we put up LaMelo, Trae Young, and Cade Cunningham. And I'm just like, the worst one was the Cade Cunningham. Like he's had 3 straight triple doubles, and then like all of a sudden you add me on Instagram with Halliburton putting up 0, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me right now. I was like, this looks terrible.
You can push certain narratives, certain things are going to work. Now, my LeBron is the greatest player narrative, still alive, still surprisingly alive. And,
honestly, the longer time goes on, the longer that narrative is going to get more and more alive. Because the more times he just does something and it's like, this has not been done by a guy over the age of 35, but he's 40. Like as many times as more of those stats pop up, the better your argument honestly gets. Like time is my worst enemy in the Jordan narrative.
Yeah.
Because like generally I have like 3 good narratives I can really cling to as a Jordan person. You can cling to the 2011, just that whole season as a whole. You can cling to the getting outscored by Jason Terry, creating a super team. And yes, I said that he created a super team, so don't come at me with that 08 garbage. No, we did it through trades. That was free agency. I don't care. Argue with your mama. Like that's so super team though. Once again, at that point, we're calling this the Showtime Lakers. The Showtime Lakers drafted their team. Are they a super team? The Bulls drafted their team. I said the Showtime Lakers drafted and traded for Kareem, and we call them a super team. Jordan and Pippen got drafted.
Were they the best team of the era with multiple available top 10 players? I don't argue that. That's what I think yes. Like everybody who's been a dynasty in the NBA has had either like outside of the Spurs, but even still, the Spurs have like just like a squad of people that everybody was locked in. So like
But see, my thing is, and this is why I say like technically, if we're saying like, whose teams were built super, I'm like you can technically even go 72 with the Lakers with Wilt and Jerry West on the same team. But I'm like, see, all of those were kind of done through trades. Like LeBron and them was the first time that the players were like, yo, we should team up in free agency. We're all to go to the same place. That's why I say they created the super team. They created the idea of we're going to call your friend in free agency, be like, I think we should go to the beach. Like, and then pick Miami. Like that's,
yeah, but
because remember, I know you've seen the interviews. Wade and LeBron, oh, we almost went to Chicago. Like what? Like think about how alternate shifting that is.
Putting that pressure on them, and they were like, "Hold on, we can't do this." So I mean, I get what you're saying. But I've always felt like, look, if we're in a sport, and especially that sport specifically, rings dominate the narrative so much, right? Why wouldn't you give yourself the best opportunity to win multiple rings?
And that's why,
what I'm saying.
Once again, that's why that move, once again, it's more the how he did it with the decision and where he went kind of thing, building up the super team. At the same time, if he'd have just built a super team and ran the table, I had nothing to say. But how you going to do all of that? Go have that press conference, as I've said to you, not one, not two, not three, and then get outscored by Jason Terry, who's not made an all-star game in his career.
You cooked. So
that's the thing. To me, I'm just petty enough. We're not letting that slide. Not my go. You can't just be fumbling the bag like that and be like, "Oh, he great."
Well, that's my thing with the 2011 thing. My thing is just like, okay, he was young and he wasn't locked in and he didn't take it seriously enough. And then we get to the 8 straight finals, and then we get to the coming back from down 3-1, and then winning in 2020. And that's my thing. I think that my take with LeBron is like him winning the 2 in Miami was like, okay, he's in that conversation. 3-1 is like, okay, yeah, like this dude's insane. And he had Kyrie with him, so I definitely want to give like love to Kyrie and everything that he did for LeBron, because I'm not gonna lie, without that shot, that go debate.
But see, and then speaking of Celtics, my man Ray bailed him out one time too.
Yeah. And that's
now, granted, I don't use the bailout narratives because Steve Kerr
I'm not gonna say he was bailed out because LeBron was the best player on the floor in that Golden State classic series. So I'm not.
Ray Allen bailed him out. Let's be so. Ray Allen freed him. But once again, Steve Kerr had some shots for the Bulls. So I don't really use the whole he got bailed out narrative. To me, that 2011 really sticks out like a sore thumb. And then if you look at some of the other awards, like Jordan got one more MVP. Got 2 more chips, 2 more Finals MVPs. He got the Defensive Player of the Year. He basically has Hakeem Olajuwon's resume in between the both of them.
Let's bring up the one that Marcus Gasol won that LeBron should have won, though. Like, that's,
hey,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's not like the voters haven't had voter fatigue with him, and they with Jordan, voter fatigue didn't seem to exist a lot. That's all.
Fair. You know what? And if anything, see, that's why the Defensive Player of the Year, I'm like, to me, he got one, but if anything, still, he got an extra MVP and then 2. And I guess with the MVPs, you can kind of do the same thing. But like, to me, I just feel like when I look at a GOAT thing, I think of it as a resume. I think of it as I'm reading your resume and what have you done? And to me, I just feel like on paper, like Jordan has done more than LeBron. Awards category, and also when you think about like other things, especially for me, when you come to like the other things, like, oh, he's the all-time leading scorer. And I'm like, fair. I'm also like, Jordan took all these random stupid breaks in his career, because the secret, if you take those little gaps and fill them in and give him that same little average and dip it down by a point for regression, he was on pace for about 40,000 points, just like LeBron was in 20 seasons, not the 22. We're in year 22 with him, right? Or was it year 23?
Yes, I can't keep year 22, but
I can't keep count. I'll be honest with you. That's like, but that's what I'm saying. I'm like, so for that little, like some of that, I'm like, like.
My whole thing is like, 1, he took the gaps, and 2, everybody forgets about the Wizards portion of his career, where everybody's just like, and that's my issue.
But that's why I say like
people put it in the vacuum of the, first him killing it as a rookie, then the finals runs.
We can talk Wizards, Jordan.
Coming back and 3-peating again, crazy as hell. The fact that he left, it was like, okay, I can 3-peat again. That's insane. I'm not, and again, I think, to me, LeBron's my favorite player of all time. That's why I defend him as much. Objectively speaking, I saw The Last Dance. That man is literally insane and driven to win. And that's the thing. I respect everything that Michael Jordan has done. However, the fact that this dude is still competing in a very good Western Conference in year 22, and at times looks like the best player on that team.
Oh, yes.
That's insane.
I say this.
That
I see this.
Something has to be said for that.
And I give you this. Like you said, if we're gonna argue the latter, like if I gotta go and pick the LeBron, the longevity is like your greatest narrative you're going with. And if not for nothing else besides the narrative, the longevity, you're gonna go with the all around play style. Because as much as like I'm a Jordan guy, let's not pretend that LeBron also got like is up there with the rebounds. He's up there top 5 all time in assists. Like that's the narrative. If you're gonna pull the other way, like that's the narrative you pull on easily. There's not much you can do about that.
Your natural bucket getter has the most buckets, and he also is top 5 in assists. Like, what are we like?
Yeah. But I said, like, I get you to you. But to me, I said, like, I see more like a resume. So I'm like, I understand, like, you have some of those, like, okay, that's cool and all. But to me, also part of that other thing is, and I said it like this to you one day. I remember I made that joke. I said, to me, when you look at the 90s as a decade,
yeah,
Jordan pretty much at Thanksgiving table. Jordan at Thanksgiving table was like, this food's all mine. Y'all can have some food over there. LeBron legit was like, let us say grace in the 2010s. Like I said, you got Jason Terry get one. You let the Spurs get one. You let Andre Iguodala win the Finals MVP on you. Like,
but again, that Finals was due to injury. Plus, Greg Popovich.
But I'm just like,
with the top 10 player in his own right with Tim Duncan. Then you have one of the greatest dynasties we've ever seen that revolutionized 3-point shooting, who then added one of the greatest scorers of all time. So again, everybody eating in that era, yes, but they were so damn good.
Like, but see, to me, once again, and nothing else.
What was he supposed to do?
I put it like this.
What do you think Mike could do with that Golden State team? Who guarded KD? Killer like that. That's
First
all
of all,
I'm saying.
If anything, all I'm saying is you're putting Rodman on KD, and you're putting Pippen on Clay. Jordan is guarding Curry. We're just gonna go big, and we're just gonna hope something works. Genuinely. But I tell you this, as my brother on the channel has messed with me about, he said you pretty much are never letting him live down 2011, and I said
You're
no.
Not. And that is a great narrative.
And to me, secretly, until if he wins another one, then I can't at that point. Yep. 3-1 can kind of cancel out that at that point. In a sense, I will call it quits. But at this point, I'm just like, I feel like you can't really walk around with a losing finals record, losing like that. That's the other thing. I think if we were 5-5 and you take 2011 away, I feel like I don't have no beef. But you're 4-6 with that on your resume. I can't do it. I can't do it.
So now I'm gonna switch to the music section of Generation Debates. And here we listen. This man has some of the most interesting music taste of a 20-year-old I've ever met. Because I met him, and again, like I got a deep bag. It's rap, it's R&B. This man has the bag of what's the old Celtics player that I can use in that?
He got the bag of an old man named Elroy.
Yep, Elroy.
He got the music bag of KC Jones. Like
KC Jones, that's the bag you got. So I would say, like, I want him to give his take on how he views the music that he listens to. Because again, I'm not a hater. Like some of this stuff, he got me smooth. Listen, I was just listening to "Distant Lover" by Marvin Gaye a couple days ago. I'm like, dang, I see what DJ be talking about. They were talking this stuff on that. So yeah,
we'll just do like this just to give everybody a preview to what the heck they signed up for in a second. I give you my 5 favorite rappers to listen to.
Oh yeah, let's go.
This is gonna get hysterical. Mm-hmm. We got Run DMC's on the list. We got the Sugar Hill Gang. We got Kid and Play. We got MC Hammer. And we got Will Smith. Wow, I know, just wow. I said favorite. I'm not gonna argue like they was dropping some hard bars or nothing, but favorite songs like that's up there. Like to me, sometimes when I'm having a good day, Will Smith getting jiggy with it will get played. I'm just gonna be very honest with you. Kid and Play ain't gonna hurt nobody. Gets played. It's tricky, you know what I mean? From Run DMC, Rappers Delight from Sugar Hill Gang, the first ever rap song. Like, yes, I get it. I understand. Too legit to quit MC Hammer. That's some stuff right there.
Gotcha.
I know y'all like, who did he find?
Exactly.
I understand the part.
That's why
I'm a sports guy. Let's tread lightly, right? Let's tread lightly.
I'm treading lightly. I'll cook you mostly because again, with this podcast, like I want to have a debate between older and younger generation because I can admit the music of that time, to me, well, I go past that time, like at least in the 90s. You're still stuck in the 80s. But to me, I admire a time when the bars mattered, when it was about party records, when it was about people having a good time. Not the whole murder, shoot 'em up, kill. I'm just smashing on every.
That's why I can't really get
It has
behind
a
some of this
place.
stuff.
It has a place. And again, like there's a take on R&B that I actually really. That's why I wanted to have you on. They said like R&B is weird when everybody started like having all the sex talk in it, and everybody's talking about all the smash. There was a subtlety. The Isley Brothers, man, that was smooth. Subtlety.
You
I
know
like the way you
something?
received me.
You know
Lean
how
into
crazy? Literally, I'll tell you. You know, it's like to have a song that says so much love stuff, but secretly in its own way.
Exactly. SWV ran down on me. Everybody was like, "What? What they talking about?
Like,
Oh, that's Rain. That's the Rain." No, like that's my thing. Like,
you kidding me? They used to have good ones, and it wouldn't even like. Once again, like you said, not over the beat you over the head. Like,
yeah, the adults knew what we were talking about. The kids didn't know.
I
You
put it
put on
like this.
anything
I
now,
put it
it's
like
like,
this. If
oh,
nothing else, for subtle rap, I remember as a kid, Naughty by Nature, OPP. I used to jam to that song with no issue as a kid.
that's the
Had
song.
no clue, and then I got old enough, and it was like OPP, and it was like OP, and the other P stands for it has a little like, and it's like property, and I was like, wait a minute. Did they just moan? Wait, hold on. What is the other P? And it hit me like they was being mad raunchy, but like it was just so like this
Yeah.
subtle like you down with OPP?
Also,
Yeah,
the
you
one
know,
the one argument I have against that is Janet Jackson exists. So I don't like when people
fair,
talk about like our generation being there.
fair,
I'm like, listen, you listen to some of Janet Jackson's songs.
fair.
Miss Janet was talking her talk, man. I ain't even.
But even like, but I'm just telling you, like, like it. But I told you, like, it'd be in the songs, and it'd be so like just. But when you said, like you said, they didn't beat you over the head with that. There was not a whole lot of profanity. That's the other thing too with the music I like is I know I could play it anywhere and nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, true.
Like I could play Earth, Wind, and Fire, put a whole soundtrack on and ride through whatever place I want to go. Don't even matter.
Play a certain song in a certain hood, you might be like, car might get
Or I'm
switched.
more like shoot, or like I think about, or like when I because I work at Boys and Girls with children. Oh, do you play some music on a speaker? Yep, I'm just gonna play a playlist, and I know I don't have to worry about nothing.
Mm, I feel that because for me, like, and again, I've had this debate with my mom as well, where she'll be like, "Your music is so explicit." I'm like, okay, Salt and Pepper. Like, there's literally a lyric in a song where the dude rapping that verse was where he said like, "I like the smell of it." I was like, okay, I like when you're young, you don't
Wild.
know the smell, but that is still wild. So I think that like,
Once
for
again,
me,
so subtle.
yeah, but again, so, but still, when you get older, you're like, oh, okay,
You're
this
like,
is
whoa, right? No, I had that. I definitely had that realization. I had, that was a good time when you
yeah,
put all that together. You're
it's
like, oh,
great.
y'all was something else. Like,
Yeah. But for me, my music has always been like again, I like getting back to the bars. Like and that song I sent you by D2X and Chris Patrick, I wanted to tell you, like, I am a fan of people getting back to the bars and showing off their talent and showing off their versatility. Because there's multiple ways to say things. I write poetry. There's multiple ways to say things in a smooth way where you don't have to like beat it over the head or like do too much. So
mm-hmm.
kind of gotta you kind of gotta have a balance between the two. Now again, as a fan of the rap music now, I love certain artists. Like they have an appeal to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like having a twin sister who played Megan Thee Stallion and City Girls. I like a bunch of their songs. But again, am I gonna play it around my mom? Not necessarily. So it's like when I'm like around I feel like my music taste is more like a chameleon. Like I could give you the old soulful bag. I could give you the modern rap and R&B records, all the club songs. I could do that because that I like listening to everything. But I don't know. Like I found it interesting that you just like were like, no, I'm completely nixing this. I'm only listening to like this every.
Though, I'll be honest. As time has gone on, I have a very like select, small, like I
Yeah,
can
I'll
rock with
let
a
you talk about your
few.
select
Yes,
artists.
I have a small like because J. Cole's one of them, and we talked about that. But then there's
Yeah,
some other ones you were like, what? Because I don't know what it is, but me and Glorilla is cool. I'll be honest with you. Cracks me up because I'm like, of all the people, never would have thought. But I
I
tell you,
don't
7
want to
p.m.
start.
Friday, 95 degrees, I was jamming. I was jamming. FNF, I was jamming. I can't lie.
Exactly. But
The
that's the
new one,
point.
what you
Like,
know about me?
hmm?
I be jamming. I be jamming. I be jamming out. I can't lie.
Nah,
I
Lip
can't.
took me out, bro. I'm not gonna
Yo,
hold you.
it does. Yo, she was like GLO to the G. I was like, what did she? I had to play it back. Did she just like I was like, what? what was that noise? I did. I'll be honest. I got a little nervous. I thought I had an alert on my phone for a second. I did, but it was smooth. I rock with it. I rock with it.
Bro, I'm sorry right now. Hold on. But I think that when we were talking about GLO, I literally looked at you like, bro, like you people who say you don't like the explicit stuff, but Glorilla, hey, bro, I'm not knocking you.
Honestly, though, I'm not gonna lie, it just be the beats. I low key be the beat. I realized with today's rap, you could hook me with a good beat, or if you sample a song I like.
Okay, gotcha.
Because Big X the Plug has won me over with his little samples. Yes. He has won me over with his samples. Because Meet the Sixers did Bad Mama Jamma on me, and I was like, okay, like he won me over. Between that one, they had another song that was called which I was kind of like, how do you say
that? Was tough too.
Threw me off trying to read out loud.
A really good project this year. I really like have him like as like one of. Listen, and the one thing I'm liking in music now, and I don't know if you've noticed this, if you're as tapped in as me, but I like the sounds that are getting more regional, man. And and I will refer to a certain rap beef that kind of is the reason why we're not necessarily hearing from a guy who would chameleon and hop on everybody's wave and take the sound because everybody wanted to sound like him. I'm just saying, since he's been gone, everybody been doing their regional stuff and been killing it. And I don't know, I feel like, and like the first episode said, the South always has something to say. The Southern artists this year, well, basically for a minute now, but since the rap beef, outside of that, the South has really been doing everything because you got Big X the Plug, Boss Man D-Lo, you got Glorilla, you still have 21 Savage who dropped a great project. You got Doechii, you got Megan, you got Flo Milli, you got Lotto. The South killed it this year. And that's my thing. And again, even it got an old soul to appeal to you. It got DJ to start changing his music taste. That means the South had a good year.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just saying that for me,
I got Beautiful Spur. Nah, I had to do the Glorilla. That killed me with the Beautiful Spur. Yo, her accent was crazy work. It's giving her. I said, what?
Yeah, no, her accent is fire though. But yeah, I think that to me, I respect music getting regional. I'll always ask you, like, who do you listen to mass? Like what were the big artists? You
honestly,
said Lucas.
That's about the most current people. The most I can give you for current people, I give you Joyner Lucas, and I give you my brother. That's like my brother Izzy Dreadhead. I think it's either Dreadhead or Izzy Dreadhead. You can find them. That's about the most I can give you. I had to send you a couple. I remember I played one of his songs on my speaker one time. You were like, "Oh, like
that's no, your brother music smooth, bro. I need him on the show too because I want to talk about that music.
Like that's about the most. That's about the most I can give you.
Yeah, I need you to plug me in with your brother though, because I need to have him on the page. We like talk rap and like his creation process because it would be cool to talk to him. So
definitely, I can definitely do that for you. Yeah. But yeah, like that's about the most in mass I can get. Like when I tell you, you said tapped in, I am not tapped in. You say Massachusetts artist, first person I think of Donna Summer. That's how bad.
Great choice. I mean,
amazing choice, but at the same time, it's like, yep,
oh
she's from Dorchester. She's like right outside the outskirts of Boston. Yeah.
Hey, Donna, I did not know that.
That's about the best I can give you. That's about the best I can give you for Massachusetts artists. I'm like Donna Summer, and who else? I think today Joyner Lucas. After that, you're like, who else? And I'd be like, uh-oh.
That's why I'm glad. North Carolina, we got like all of our people are like good, but there's not like a distinct sound.
Oh, you know what I'm tripping? You know what else is in Massachusetts I can get you? New Edition. But after that, I'm done. New Edition. I was like, something's missing.
Okay, at our best, it's J. Cole, Nina Simone, and Anthony Hamilton and Fantasia. Like those are like our four, which isn't bad.
That's pretty solid.
But I'm like, y'all got Donna Summer New Edition? God dang.
Yo, I tell you, and that's another person I jam to. What, Dim All the Lights? What?
Yeah, no, Donna Summer time.
I used to jam that one going to work some mornings. I'll be out there just dim all the lights, sweet darling. All the night is on your way. But I tell you, at the same time, you're like this. I know people gonna watch like this 20-year-old kid listens to music like he is 70.
Exactly.
And it's hilarious.
My thing is like I don't knock it because so many people don't stick with their music taste. So many people try to like warp it to fit in with other people. That's the one thing I appreciate you with your music and your sports takes. You will go down with the ship. You are
goodness.
You stand on this.
I am stubborn. I will go right down. Because you see, as much I'm like my take age like milk. You see, I am one said Ty Halliburton. You see, I didn't back up. You see, I didn't back up though. Age like milk.
But I'm get back to it.
Yep. I said, whenever he has a 30-point game, I'll be right back like I never left. And you know I will too, because you saw my one edit I did that one time.
Yeah,
Sure did.
that's the
I
thing.
don't care.
All
All
right,
all them
so
years of Derrick Henry being rough. And the moment he broke out, I was right there like, I've been here since the beginning. Did I not?
yeah, I mean, I do that with music artists too. Like, I feel like Brett Fires and Doechii are like the two artists who I've like been a fan of. Actually, the one interesting thing about me is I was a Brett Fires fan before I really knew who he was and like how good he was, and now seeing him like all over TikTok and and be like the biggest R&B artist like outside of Chris Brown and stuff. I think like the fact that I was tapped in 2016 where I just like heard a song like on like a trailer from Atlanta, and then I was just listening to it. I was like, yeah, he cool. He on my playlist. And then I saw everybody be like, yo, Brett is so fire. Like his 2020 is shipped. Like during COVID, I was like, yo, Brett. I was like, damn. I really was outside and I really wasn't telling people. But
You hit that Kermit the Frog meme. Where y'all come
I was
from?
like,
Like,
damn, where everybody come from? I was listening to him casually, you know. I was like, it was him, Bryson Tiller, and some other R&B artists who I was tapped into. But yeah, and then Doechii, I really want you to tap in with her. She just did a set at Tyler the Creators Festival. Man, and again, I talked about Nikki being Wilt, and I had that conversation on the phone with you. I think she Jordan of this, man. Like, I
mm,
think that she could be the great. I'm saying this right now. I think she could be the greatest female rapper ever. And I love Lauren Hill. I love Lil Kim. I love Missy Elliott. But she gives me,
see, I'll
she
be
gives me,
honest.
she gives me
I,
Kendrick vibes, and y'all know how I feel. And if you know me, you know how I feel about Kendrick.
I'll be
So
honest.
listen, I'm telling you,
I'm glad you mentioned Lauren Hills and Missy Elliott's. But to
yeah,
me, you were forgetting MC Light.
MC Light too. MC Light is tough.
You get
MC
MC
Light is
Light, we're
tough.
forgetting Queen Latifah and Foxy Brown. If we gotta do it, I just feel like we gotta commit.
I tell you, and again, they are great for their era. And what they did, I completely said. Listen, I'm telling you, if you
Nah,
listen to Alligator Bites Never Heal, that is one of the best rap projects I've heard in years. She is a goat, and and again with the rapping and singing thing, that's why I have Missy in a high esteem. That's why I have Lauren Hill in a high esteem. That's why I have Doechii in a high esteem because they have that rap and singing blend. But Doechii, when she gets in that in her bars, and she really, I'm telling you, bro, she's like that. So we're gonna wrap up this episode. I want you to shamelessly plug your podcast, your
oh,
YouTube. Let's
all
let's
right.
support
Oh,
it.
we're gonna plug it.
Support,
All right.
I tell you, this is the future of media right here, sports media. I need y'all to be tapped in.
Man,
Howard
I
student,
appreciate. Yes.
Howard
HU,
class
man.
2026, a
Mm-hmm.
dog, bro. I'm telling you, he got next.
Look, I
Tap
put
in
it
with
like this. Yeah, the main thing, the Harding Way. That's the YouTube. We got them on all platforms. We got them on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube right now. The Harding Way. That's my own platform. That's where I do all my fun stuff. That's where all like 94 feet's been the biggest thing we've been doing. That's our basketball stuff with me, my brother. Gotta have some football stuff with me and Chris coming soon. We're gonna get that going as we talked
yeah,
about. Gonna get that going. A bunch of other series and stuff. Playing got some interviews on there. Actually interviewed former WNBA player Megan Simmons as a time to do. That's the most recent interview I've done, which is nice. But then from there, I also have a sports reporting job at News Talk New England. That's one of the bigger spots because I've been there since the beginning. I was an intern and I've come up the ranks. So I always got to give a shout out to them. And then Chicago State of Mind, been with them. Anybody here, all things Chicago, that's who you got ahead. They cover the Sky. That's why I've covered some Sky for them. And they do all the Bulls, everybody. They tap Illinois football, like Bears, Chicago, anything. That's where you got to go. So those are my plugs right there, man.
Gotcha.
But I appreciate you, man.
Let me shamelessly plug the podcast. Starboard, the Pick'em Pros. They gave me my first shot on a big podcast, local in North Carolina. Tap in with them boys. They are Diego and Derek. They've definitely looked out to me. Literally helped change my life. Basically, changed how the rest of this year was going to go. Honestly, I didn't know how this media stuff was going to look on with the move back to North Carolina, but man, they definitely looked out. So I'll be back on shows with them in December. But yeah, definitely tap in with the Pick'em Pros, tap in with the Harding Way, Chicago State of Mind, and News Talk New England. But anyway, I've been Chris. This is Generational Debates. Shout out to DJ. This was lovely, bro. I can't wait to do the football stuff with you
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's going to get crazy.
It'll
But
be
yeah.
hilarious.
All right, y'all. Peace.